an example. So here is a community member at May. And the next slide. So these community networks we have, they are trained on how to identify a risky situation where a young person is in danger and how to take appropriate action. Because sometimes it's not that people don't care about children or young people, it's just either they're not sure if this situation is dangerous or not, and secondly, they don't know what to do. And it's hard to intervene into discussions. We try them to give them tools to act and to take appropriate action. So this is an example of a training that is done with a street seller in Kampong Trabec in Preven province. This is her shop, and it's at the crossroads, quite remote area, at the crossroads where Lantui, so small minivans, stop to take people to go to Phnom So we have different sellers in Preven and Saeng who are trained to provide information to young people who are about to go to Phnom Penh, who are coming back from Phnom Penh, provide information and protect them if they are in trouble. We also trained tuk-tuk drivers in Phnom Penh, motor dogs also in Phnom Penh. This is an example of the training material we use. As I say, the importance is to promote intervention and action. And safe migration is one module of the training, but there are other modules like sexual abuse, if you witness a situation of sexual abuse, if you witness a situation of physical abuse. So there are different modules of this training. For example, this one is when our member that is wearing the hat see a young migrant, a young boy, being convinced by a lady to come with her and to go to work in Thailand. And he's thinking of a lot of money, she's thinking of exploitation on fishing boats. And so our members take action, call the police. The police catch the cheater and the member is happy. It's very basic, but it works because it's visual. We are addressing people who are not talking to people who don't know how to read and write, and they need to have a clear picture of the situation. Gender reintegration. Once we met through the different way I explained, through someone calling the hotline, someone met by our community members, someone coming to our drop-in center. Once we met a young migrant, the work we do is, and the objective is for them to be a functional member of the society, and that is through reintegration, through family, employment, school, and also culture, because if young Cambodians spend many years in Thailand, for them it's really difficult to come back to Cambodia because they lost touch with Cambodian culture. So through all these elements, we're trying to reintegrate them, and this is done with case management system and counseling. We conduct family tracing, and it's the young migrants who, after spending 2 nights on the street, coming from Preven, and spending 2 nights on the street in Phnom Penh, the only thing he wants is just go back home with his family. He had lost all his money, all his bags, he slept on the street, he had been beaten by a gang during the night. He just wanted to go back in Preven with his family. So what we do is we conduct family tracing and we help the young migrants to go back home, because sometimes it's not easy for young migrants who had high hopes going to Phnom Penh and have to go back to their family and say, well, it didn't happen the way I thought it should happen. So our social workers go with them and help them to bond again with their family and explain what happened. So this is family reintegration. We also try to find alternatives to migration or to remigration. So if they want to go back to Preven, what can they do in Preven? What kind of training they need? And if they don't want to go back to their provinces, then what solution and stable and safe solution we can find for them in Phnom Penh or in Siem Reap or in Kampong Cham, wherever. For example, vocational training, safe accommodation, safe jobs. Our social workers have to find reintegration solutions. I have 2 minutes left, so maybe the next one I wanted to share with you was a case study of a young migrant we worked with. So her name is Sophia, and she's 20 years old. She's from Kampong Cham province, and she migrated, and she came to Phnom Penh with her neighbors to work as domestic workers, to do housework, but it didn't turn out the way she wanted, because when she was working in the family, it was not what she was expecting. It was not as easy as she thought. They were not nice with her, so she wanted to find another job, so she ran away. But she met someone that used tricks, let's say, to cheat them, and cheat her, and she went with follow him, and she got abused. That's what Friends International with their social workers. What she met with one of our community members, motor taxi in Phnom Penh, and because he was trained on identifying that something was wrong and she didn't know where to go, so that's a good sign of that she's lost and she's a migrant. He brought her to Misamlan organization, and they conduct assessments and then reintegrated her to their family. Importance of working with adults. I mentioned a lot about young Cambodian migrants coming along to cities, but there are also family migration, especially during dry season, where a whole family, so there is no work, coming to Phnom Penh to work as carpenters, for example. So that's why we think it's very important to also provide alternatives and solutions for the parents, and that we developed the income generating project, but there are other organizations that develop other ways to help the parents. That's the picture where it was an example of families coming back, repatriated from Thailand. They used to beg on the street in Bangkok, and now they sustainably reintegrated in Siem Reap province. So just to conclude, the migrants are a moving population. It cannot be a local response. It needs to be global. And the way the different action I list, we develop them in the main departure, transit, and arrival provinces to make sure that all along the migration route, a young migrant might find support, information, protection, and maybe reintegration services. There is one big spot missing, COSECAM province. It's becoming more and more people migrating from there and going to Thailand for the fishing industry. So we're not there yet. All these dots are the Unsafe logo. This is where we have this Unsafe community network. But this is not only implemented by Friends International, it's done also with local partners. For example, in Cambodia, it's Northakong organization that is running this Unsafe network. In Continental, in Poiset and Aranyakaset, in Damanta. So it has been done with other local NGOs, and I think that's very positive. Just one thing is that